all local, all morning. You're watching Fox 61 Morning News.
Fire fix.
Right now at 6 o'clock, we're following this breaking news coming out of Hartford. Fire crews are investigating an early morning house fire. We're going to get you a live update in just about 3 minutes, everything we know so far. But good morning to you. We are in a weather impact alert. It is Monday. Thanks for checking in with us here at Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus America Areas.
And I'm Bridget Bureau. I hope you had a great weekend. Yeah, we're starting the day off with some rain. Pack that umbrella because this rain event's not stopping anytime soon, right, Rachel?
No, we're going to see periods of rain that continue throughout the day and some of the strongest winds picking up late today into tomorrow morning. So we're not done with this. This is kind of a long duration event. We do have a couple of warnings and advisories and watches here. So periods of rain today, winds pick up this afternoon, heavy rain and embedded thunderstorms tonight, certainly possible. And I think some of the worst winds is going to be tonight, mainly after about 5 and 6 o'clock and then wrapping up by 1 o'clock in the morning, anywhere from 40 to 55 mile per hour gusts, which could lead to some outages is certainly on the table. Right now in our satellite and radar picture, we have periods of rain. A lot of it is manageable, but we do have some stronger, or at least embedded downpours towards Brooklyn now along Route 6 in Chaplin, and then also pushing into southeastern Connecticut. A flood watch is in effect between now and tomorrow morning. We are thinking we're going to get up towards 1 to 3 inches of rain when all is said and done, and there could also be some minor flooding on our poor drainage areas as well as rivers and streams. So that's certainly something that bears watching, in addition to the wind advisory that is going to kick in this afternoon and continue into the overnight hours. Now, we are expecting the stronger gusts to be in eastern areas like towards Rhode Island, where they have a high wind warning, as well as parts of Cape Cod. However, we can't rule out isolated gusts closer to 40 to 55 mile per hour gusts, maybe even isolated higher amounts, and that could lead to some issues out there. Temperature wise, anywhere from 42 degrees in Hartford to about 48 degrees in Norwich, 42 in Union now, and Windsor locks at around 40 degrees, and wind speeds are up 5 to 15 miles per hour. Elsewhere across the state, like in Hartford, you have a reported wind speed of around 5 miles per hour. So it's not that bad this morning, but over time today, we know that those winds are going to kick in and get a little bit stronger, leading to some issues. As we head through the afternoon, there may be a brief lull with some areas of mist and some fog. And then as that front comes through, you'll start to see that radar begin to fill back in towards the afternoon and evening with the stronger gusts likely then. We'll talk about where we go from here. We'll walk you through the 7-day forecast as well as walk you through that hour by hour coming up in just a bit. Here at 6:02 on our roadways, we are following a crash over on Route 8 this morning. So we're just taking a look there. This is going to be on the southbound side as you're approaching exit 9, and the delay stretching back to exit 11 this morning. Otherwise, looking at Hartford as well as Cromwell, East Haven and New Haven, watch out for those slippery conditions on the roadways. Hydroplaning a concern this morning. Over to you.
Yeah, the rain is the big story of the morning, so let's get back to that weather impact alert.
Yeah, as Rachel mentioned earlier, we are expecting heavy rain and wind all across the state. So we're taking a live look right now. This is from our Fox 61 Storm Tracker. This is live right now. You're looking at conditions this morning in Waterbury. You can see there's lots of ponding on the roads there. You just got to make sure you take it slow. Make sure you give yourself extra time. The wind is really whipping out there, and at times the rain is coming down at a very steady pace. So just be careful out there. Stay safe, everyone. And at 6:03, we're continuing to monitor breaking news coming out of Hartford this morning. Firefighters have spent several hours battling a house fire on East Street.
Fox 61's Joe Monty is live at the scene right now. Joe, looks like the fire itself is out, but this was a multi-family home, so many people are impacted by this.
Yeah, good morning to you both. That's correct. Look, this is either a multifamily home or an apartment building. It's a pretty large building. It looks like a number of units in it. I'm going to step off to the side and show you. We got that better view that I was talking to you about a half hour ago. You can actually see the building, and moments ago, the fire department actually still had a ladder going up to the top floor, and they were still spraying water inside, I assume, to battle probably some of those hot spots that pop up, after they put out a fire. We see that sometimes. But there's a number of crews on scene. We heard that earlier. There's probably 5 or 6 fire trucks just in this small area between Albany Ave and East Street. That's where we're talking about. This apartment building's on the corner of Albany Ave and East Street. There's a number of fire crews here. There's a ton of firefighters out on the scene. It looks like they were all working really hard this morning to get that fire out, as they usually do. There's several roadblocks in this area, so as crews continue to work here and figure out what exactly the cause of the fire was, so keep that in mind. But we're told that at about 2 o'clock this morning, the Hartford Fire Department responded to a report of a fire on 19 East Street. That's the address of the building. And firefighters encountered a real heavy fire at about on the 3rd floor and reaching into the 4th through the roof. Firefighters had to fight pretty hard along the top of the building to get the fire out, and ultimately transitioned into what they're calling a defensive operation. I assume that's what we were seeing with the battling of the hot spots and just trying to keep the fire out. You could see they were spraying tons of water into that upper floor. Now, everybody in the building was accounted for, which is a good sign. No firefighters were injured, but one person was taken to a local hospital, so we'll try to keep you updated with their condition as well. The department's Special Services Unit, along with the Hartford Police Department, are on scene. Again, a number of crews on the scene. It's a rather large response. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. We're going to be keeping tabs with the Hartford Fire Department to try to figure out when they figure out what the cause of this fire was, and we'll bring it to you as soon as we have that information. But for now in Hartford, Joe Monty, back to you.
All right, Joe, thanks for the update. We'll check back, of course, throughout the morning. Meantime, at 6:06, the Diocese of Norwich has placed Father Lawrence Lapointe on administrative leave following allegations of abuse and a recent indictment in Maryland. Now, before being placed on leave, Father Lapointe served as the pastor of Corpus Christi Parish in Willimantic. The diocese stated that while there has been no finding of guilt, they maintain a zero-tolerance policy for abuse. Lapointe has denied the allegations. Meantime, church officials say he will stay on leave during the investigation. An attack on a synagogue in West Bloomfield, Michigan has sent shockwaves through the Jewish community.
The suspect rammed his vehicle into the building armed with explosives and a gun. Fox 61's Alicia Hercules was in Woodbridge with a reaction from a local Jewish community center.
As synagogues prepare to gather to welcome Shabbat, the CEO of the Jewish Federation of Greater New Haven says what happened in Michigan weighs heavily on all of their minds.
It's exhausting. It's an everyday thing.
Gail Schlossberg, the CEO of the Jewish Federation of Greater New Haven, says the attack highlights the importance of security. This Jewish community center, like many others across the country, have round-the-clock security.
Anytime the Jewish community gathers in any way, shape, or form, we need to have security with us, and we need to be prepared for this.
Thursday, a man attacked Temple Israel in West Bloomfield, Michigan, by ramming a car through the building's doors and driving down a hallway. The suspect, who was armed with a rifle and had explosives in his car, was killed after being shot by the synagogue's security guards. Schlossberg says the attack represents the uptick in anti-Semitism they've seen in recent years.
Every day we get the messages of hate, bomb threats, all sorts of threats against the community.
Although this attack has struck fear throughout the community, Schlossberg says they will continue to gather as a community and practice their faith.
We will remain vigilant and strong and resilient, and we will continue to do what we've always done, which is to gather and be unapologetically Jewish.
Schlossberg also encourages people to contact the police if they see something suspicious or have concerns about the safety of others to prevent attacks like this from happening again. In Woodbridge, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
6:08 now, and happening today, Governor Ned Lamont will be in Stratford this morning to announce funding for flood mitigation projects. The state is providing $5.5 million to help reduce flooding along Ferry Boulevard and Broad Street. The project will raise roadways, replace a bridge over Ferry Creek, and install new tide gates as well. Officials say the work is aimed at preventing repeated flooding that's impacted nearby homes and businesses.
6:09 now. Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro is announcing new federal funding for a cybersecurity program in New Haven. DeLauro is going to join leaders at Albertus Magnus College this morning to announce $900,000 for a new cybersecurity lab. Now, this lab is going to give students hands-on training through real-world simulations like data breaches and network intrusions. School officials say the goal is to help prepare students for cybersecurity careers as cybersecurity attacks continue to rise. A man from Danbury is heading to court later today, accused in the shooting death of his neighbor that happened back on January 7th. Police say David Grulon has been discharged a single round from a 9mm firearm. This was in his townhouse, and then the bullet then traveled through a shared wall and hit 37-year-old Victor Quispy. Grulon pleaded not guilty to all charges at his last court appearance.
6:10 now. A man accused in a hit-and-run crash that killed a 14-year-old boy heads to court today. That crash happened on Christmas Day on Cornwall Street in Hartford. They say Tyron Davis was driving a Cybertruck when he exited his lane while attempting to pass another car, and that's when he entered oncoming traffic while speeding. Police say he left the scene before officers got there, later turned himself in nearly 2 weeks later. Inside the car he hit was 14-year-old Malachi James and 3 others who all had serious injuries in that crash.
A Greater New Haven St. Patrick's Day parade drew an estimated 100,000 people to downtown New Haven on Sunday.
It's nice weather. That probably helped the turnout. Fox 61's Victoria Anderson was there for all the fun.
A new flag flew over the New Haven Green Sunday. The green, white, and orange welcomed crowds from all over for the 184th New Haven St. Patrick's Day Parade. It was bright lights in the Elm City. Departments and organizations from across New Haven and the state hit the road to celebrate St. Patrick's Day in style.
Thick and thin, whether it's raining or not, we still come down.
Fred Kelly has been attending the parade for 50 years, but his crew has gotten a little younger over the years.
Happy St. Patrick's Day from the Kelly clan.
He told us the hardest part every year without fail is getting to the parade.
Parking is the toughest thing. We had to get here early, get a good parking spot.
No parking signs lined roads near the route on Chapel Street and Sherman. Those roads remained closed most of the day to accommodate the thousands who came out to watch the parade, including those who don't have to worry about parking, like Chase and Margot Kesarovsky.
What was your favorite part of the parade?
Motorcycles.
You like the motorcycles? What about you?
I like the Irish dancing.
All great ways to celebrate the lucky day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day! And if you missed out, don't worry, there's still a chance to catch a St. Patty's Day parade. Mystic is hosting theirs next Sunday in New Haven. Victoria Anderson, Fox 61.